Let's start it. There we go. I want to make sure you guys get the replays because this is good stuff. Okay, so welcome back to day 6. It's the home stretch. You have made it. Pat yourself on the back if you have been here for all 6 days. How great was yesterday? Oh my God, you guys who volunteered yesterday, it was so great to work with you. There were so many great breakthroughs. I mean, the difference between what you sounded like when you started versus what you sounded like Melanie, my goodness, that was like such a huge difference. And Camila, such a huge difference. So I hope that you guys took the tools from yesterday. Who played with the Making a Song Your Own worksheet? Who played with that? Tell me in the chat. I'm super curious. Say me if you played with the Making a Song Your Own worksheet. Yes, yesterday Jennifer did. Jennifer's in it to win it. Who else? Laura did. You are in it to win it too. Maria, yes. Judy, Camila, yeah. Camila, you had a head start on it. Okay, you guys. And question, who did your meditation today? Who did your meditation today? Celebrate. Celebrate that you got on it today, whether you did it yesterday or not. Who did it today? Let's see. Yep. Camila, Jennifer, Barbara. Yes. Nice. If you haven't done it today, the day's not over. Do it after this. There's no wrong way to do the meditation, guys. The only wrong way is not to do it. So stay on it. Who is 6 for 6 on their meditations? Anybody? Anybody? Who's 6 for 6? Tell me in the chat. Judy? Jennifer? Yeah? That's awesome. That's really worth celebrating your accountability and your resourcefulness to carving out the time. You guys, it's just like anything else. You just carve it out. Like for me, I know for my practice, for my meditation practice, I just have my morning ritual and it's just like nothing gets put in that 45 minutes. It's like walk the dog, do my meditation, and then I do some breath work. There's a couple other things, but like that's it. And like nothing happens during that time. And I literally put it on my Google Calendar. Like it's literally on my calendar. So if you're like me and like if it's not on my calendar, it won't happen. Like put it on your calendar. Just do it. All right, celebrating you guys who are showing up and playing full out, giving 110%. Just keep doing the meditations daily, guys. This is the kind of thing that like that present moment awareness, what you're teaching your brain is to come back to the present moment, to come back to the present moment of your body. And you're teaching your brain to witness thoughts without judgment, just to witness. I like to say it's kind of like, you know, when you watch CNN or something and you see like the ticker going along the bottom, right? Like when I meditate, it's kind of like the thoughts come in, like the little ticker at the bottom, and I watch it come in and I watch it go out. And it's like, oh, that's interesting. I watch it come in and I watch it go out and I come back to the present moment. So you're teaching your mind to come back to the present moment instead of being in the spin of the past or the future, the to-do list, the things that cause you stress and anxiety. So do it daily. Do it. Okay, a reminder of a little bit of housekeeping. Questions, go into the chat. We're going to train first and then we're going to take questions. And also I keep reminding you, don't miss tomorrow because tomorrow's like a whole Q&A day. It's literally an ask me anything day. So if there's anything that I haven't covered that you want to ask about, bring it tomorrow. If there's stuff that I have covered that you want clarity on, bring it tomorrow. And we're going to put a post in the Facebook group to have you guys, you know, post your questions so that I know what we want to talk about. And also if you're not able to come live tomorrow, you can still put questions in the chat in the Facebook group or in the comments of that post in the Facebook group and I will get to them and you can watch the recording and get the answers that you need. A reminder, this is the safe space, 0 tolerance for any meanness, criticism, judgment in the chat. It's one of our highest held values in the intensive and in anywhere that I train, really. I want you guys to be able to feel like you can fall down and get up and fall down and get up and that this is the most safe place to do it. So please uphold that value when you're in here. Okay. So today we are going to talk some mindset and we are very lucky. We have our expert mindset coach, Judy, in the house. Judy works one-on-one with all the singers in our intensive training program, helping them master their mindset. And so I would love to just say hello to Judy. Judy, say hi to everybody. Just go ahead, unmute and say hi.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you here today. Really excited to talk some mindset.
Yeah, some of you may have already seen Judy. She posts often in the group about certain mindset stuff, so she may be familiar to some of you already in the Facebook group, but I'm really grateful to her to be here today because she comes at this from a really interesting perspective, which is what she does all day, every day, is helps our singers mirror back what's going on in their mind that they're not really present to, that cause like really big shifts in their singing. And you've seen me work some mindset with some of the singers over the last few days. And Judy just is like, I call her a mindset ninja. She just like lasers in and like can really help shift perspective in like like a minute. So I'm really excited to have her here, and she's going to be weighing in and giving you some of her mojo as well. So yay, glad you're here, Judy. Okay, so we're both gonna go a little hardcore on you today. Do I have your permission to call it tight today, you guys? Tell me in the chat. Do I have your permission to like not sugarcoat and call it tight? Permission to coach. Tell me in the chat. Yeah? Okay. Yes? Yes? Okay. Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. Okay. I love it. So we're both going to hardcore you a little bit today. And this is where I get to gently and lovingly kick your butt. Okay. Because what we're talking about today, I wish somebody had taught me as a young singer, because man, it really would have saved me a lot of struggle. So today we're talking about the biggest hurdle that pro singers face and how to get over it. And in my 25 years as a singer and many, many years of working with professional singers, being one myself, I have noticed that the biggest hurdle that singers have to singing the way they want and breaking through to big careers is actually not an external struggle that you are fighting outside of yourself. It's not, contrary to what you think, it's not money, it's not time, it's not poor training, it's not technique, it's not a technique thing or any other external struggle. It's actually an internal struggle, which means good news that you can actually affect it and you can change it today. So let's unravel this, okay? The major concept for today, and if you're following along in your launch workbook, okay, or in your masterclass workbook, the major concept for today is that the biggest hurdles pro singers face is fixed mindset instead of growth mindset. And it affects everything. It affects your technique, it affects your performances, it affects what happens on stage, off stage, you name it. Fixed mindset instead of growth mindset. So most of you are acting from who you are now, who you have always been, instead of acting from who you want to be and making decisions from who you want to be. And it really, really stunts your growth because you don't take the actions of who you want to be. You take the actions of who you've always been, and then you get what you've always gotten, and things stay fixed. And this can show up, for example, in your technique, big time. So let's say that you're having trouble opening up consistency in your high voice. So tell me in the chat, who really has a hard time finding consistency in your high notes? And it's a thing, right? And you all think that it's a technique thing. And yeah, there are some technique things involved. But let's say you're having trouble opening up the consistency in your high voice, and you have to work on getting opposition to work in your body to do that, like we talked about on Wednesday. But if you have a fixed mindset, then high notes are hard. They've always been hard. They've never been my bread and butter. Other people can do them. That's not my voice. That's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. Fixed mindset, okay? High notes are hard, just the way it is. You want something different. You don't want high notes to be hard. You want something different, but what you believe is possible has set up a giant resistance to that, which makes what you want nearly impossible to actualize. Even though you want to open up your high voice, your body will not go as far as you need it to go in your opposition because the resistance to that fixed mindset, the resistance fixed mindset is created, it's just way too powerful. And so you're singing from who you've always been instead of who you want to be, who you get to be, who you could be in that moment. Who you've always been does not believe that it's possible, does not believe that you can do it. You've been struggling with your high voice forever, and it doesn't believe that you can do it or that it's possible. So you will self-protect. and your body will not go for the full opposition that it needs, and your high notes and your high voice stay stuck. So it's about balancing your desire and your belief. Because if you desire something that you doubt, there's no balance going on. If you desire something that you are annoyed about because it has not yet come, there's no balance in that. So the attraction that you're about is lopsided. It is not working well for you. Only half of it's there. You want it, but you don't believe it. And if you want something that you don't believe, you are calling it in and pushing it away at the same time. And that's what causes stress and tension. That is what blocks your energy, your essence from showing up in performance, and it is what sabotages your impact. So it's about how to balance your desire and your beliefs so that there's no gap. But sometimes it's like you have your shield up and it's keeping you from receiving the very thing that you are asking for, the very thing that you desire. And that shield that blocks you, and one of the very forms that it comes in is fixed mindset. Because, and here's where I'm going to go, I'll quantum woo-woo on you, but guys, this is real. I see it working either for or against my singers all the time. Judy sees it working for or against our singers all the time. This is real. See, you are here in this body, but you're not only here as you, as your physical body self, as your physical instrument. Your inner being, your source energy is here flowing to you and through you, and it is a big part of actualizing your intentions for this voice, this instrument, because your physical instrument responds to it, right? Remember day one? Your voice is always responding to your energy, always. And so this energy, this inner energy, it has a point of attraction too. And while this energy, it can't just throw something at you, like it can't just insert something into your experience just when you ask for it. Your inner energy, your inner being, it can hold the knowing of what you're asking for in such clear awareness that your intention and your, what they call like point of attraction, it becomes more vivid and more powerful because you have asked and then you have set that intention. You guys get that? Like all day this week when I've been coaching you guys, I've been bringing this idea in of intention. Like, you know, like what I was saying to Camille yesterday, like setting the intention. How would you sing this if you just got to go to 25? Or what I was saying earlier on in the week, how would you sing this if you literally didn't give a you know what about what anybody thought, right? These are really powerful intentions so that what you're asking for and your awareness are more balanced. Okay, so what that means now is that you've set an intention, you've asked, you want powerful, glorious, consistent money notes, high notes that bring you a world-class career. And your inner being is holding that vibrational awareness of what you want. And energy and quantum field is responding to the attraction that your inner energy has going on. Because you guys, we're all just made out of energy. If you boil us down to our smallest parts, everything is made of energy. Our cells are made up of protons and neutrons that are made up of electrons and neutrinos that are just made out of energy. The same thing with my phone, the same thing with my dog, the same thing with the tree outside. At its smallest points, we are all just energy. So that's really important. Because see now a really interesting thing is happening to you. Because you're summoning and your inner energy and your inner energetic being is summoning what you want to, but you have your own free will of your own free thoughts, and you can think thoughts that block what you want if you choose to. And I know most of you would say, I would never do that, Arden. Arden, I would never. Even though we do it all the time, we do it every day. Because every subject is really two subjects. Sometimes you think you're thinking about the high notes that you desire when you're really focused on the lack of them. Or you think you're thinking about the performance opportunities that you really want, but you're really focused on the absence of those opportunities. In other words, you're thinking thoughts that are vibrationally and energetically inconsistent or vibrationally and energetically resistant to what you have asked for what is being summoned to you. And fixed mindset is one of the main forms that this resistance takes. because those thoughts do not match the desire that you have. You desire powerful, easy high notes. You desire consistent money notes that you could sing for days. But fixed mindset says high notes are hard. They've always been hard. They've never been my jam. Other people can do them. That's not my voice. That's not the way it is. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it's always going to be. And when the thoughts do not match the desire, that resistance makes it impossible to achieve what you want. But the flip side of this is that then your work becomes very simple. Your work is to invite the thoughts that match the desire, invite the thoughts that match the intention rather than its absence. Say words to match the desire rather than its absence. Because I have seen over and over and over in my life and with my singers, and I know Judy has experienced this too, and she watches this with our singers all day, every day, is that it is always true that when you ask, it is given. When you ask, it is always given. You are always getting what you ask for, whether you realize it or not. The question is, when you ask and it is given, what are you doing about it? Are you receiving it, or are you blocking it with your awareness of the current reality that doesn't yet contain it? I'm going to say that again. When you ask and it is given, are you receiving it, or are you blocking it with your inner critic, monkey mind, fear mind awareness of the current reality you have that doesn't contain it yet? And this is what trips us up, you know? We're focused on what we think is. And so if we ask for something that we think isn't yet, like the high notes, and our awareness is that it isn't rather than it is, as we focus on the isn't-ness of what we know is, then we block it and we don't let it come. And your body is in that place that it can't come. And then you complain, this isn't working for me, when it is. It's always working for you, for better or for worse. You get what you think about whether you want it or not. You strike a balance with things that you don't even want just by giving so much internal attention to them. So this brings us back to fixed mindset versus growth mindset. With growth mindset, you are not focused on the isn't-ness. You step into the desire, into the beingness of your intention. So who you want to be, fearless, brave, curious, fill in the blank. Guys, do it right now. Who do you get to be? Who do you want to be? Tell me in the chat right now. This is it, guys. This gets real right now. Who do you get to be? Who do you want to be? Claim it, plant your flag, share it with trusted fellows right now. Cindy puts fearless. Yes. Who do you want to be? Heidi, courageous. Yes. Laura, confident, carefree. Camila, authentic. Yes. Willie, himself. Eldred, bulletproof, authentic. Badass. Yeah. Free. Yeah. Okay. So when you have cultivated a growth mindset, you step into who you want to be. Confident, fully expressed, carefree, consistent. All the things that you said, you step into who you want to be. You are intentional about it, about choosing beliefs and an emotional home, which supports that. And then the thoughts start to match the desire. There's no more resistance. And then the body stops resisting. And now your technique and your instrument can work for you instead of against you. And now the actions that you take are coming from that place where the thoughts match the desire. When you sing, your body responds to that version of you, and it becomes 10 times easier for you to go as far as you need to go in your technique, so it works. So the opposition works. And now in this example, the high notes are easy. They're easy. So growth mindset is all about taking contrary action. If the voice in your head is screaming at you, all of the doubt, that's your inner critic. It's just trying to protect you. And in doing so, it will continue to keep you small, and it will always drown out that other voice, the voice of who you could be. which is the voice of your awareness. And so if it's screaming at you, it is not your awareness. It is your fear, your doubt, your inner critic. Your awareness, like I mentioned yesterday, it is that small voice of knowing within. Fixed mindset does not listen to it. It listens to the loud voice of doubt, which is always trying to drown out that small voice. The growth mindset knows who you want to be, listens to that small voice, because that voice of your awareness is who you want to be already. Most of you just don't listen to it. So the way you get over the biggest hurdle from fixed mindset to growth mindset is to listen to your awareness. Take action from your awareness. It knows who you want to be and is continually trying to nudge you in that direction. Don't ignore it anymore. Pay attention to it. Take action from it. It's the voice of your desire, your intention, your essence. It's the voice that knows that when you ask, it is always given. Go towards that voice. Go towards the thing that scares you. Create beliefs and thoughts and an emotional home that match your desire instead of block it. And you get to be a little scared and do it anyway, whatever the it is. Even something like investing in yourself to work in the intensive training program, that can be scary. 7K on a credit card, that can be scary for some people. And even though you have launched that rocket of desire where your awareness is telling you, this is what I want, this is what I need. If fixed mindset, the old you that created the situation you're in with your career and your voice in the first place, if fixed mindset comes in with, that's crazy. I don't have that investment. I could never find that investment. I don't have that kind of money. I could never find that kind of money. And right there, you are acting from who you are now, who you have always been, instead of acting from who you want to be and making decisions from who you want to be. And then you don't take the actions of who you want to be. You take the actions of who you've always been, and then you get what you have always gotten, and things stay fixed. But if you follow your awareness and create beliefs that match your desire, example, there's always a way for the committed. It's just money. I can always go out and find more. Abundance is my birthright. Living my dream is the best investment that I can make. Now, your thoughts are matching your desire. And you get to be a little scared and do it anyway, because what is scarier? Investing 7K so you can finally break the blocks and break through and succeed in your singing career for the next 10, 20, 30 years of your life? Or looking back a year from now, God forbid 5 years from now, and you are in the exact same place with the frustration, the sadness, even the shame of having a gift that you cannot live at the highest level. Because you're going to be scared anyway. So you might as well be scared and get what you want. Because guys, regret, it is the most costly thing, which is why getting over this hurdle of fixed mindset versus growth mindset is so important. Growth mindset requires you to go beyond your comfort zone. That is how we grow. It is called growing pains for a reason. It is not always easy or comfortable to grow. We're scared because we want certainty of an outcome. But your awareness will never, ever, ever lead you astray. Guys, I say this with so much love in the world. If you want to stay comfortable, you will stay where you are. But having the support to go beyond your comfort zone and listen to the little voice, you will always get where you want to go. It may not look like what you thought. It may take you this way before you go this way, but you will not be where you were. And so growth mindset matches your thoughts with your desire. Aligning with your awareness means no regrets. Listen to your awareness. Take action from your awareness. It knows who you want to be and is continually trying to nudge you in that direction. Don't resist it. Don't ignore it anymore. Pay attention to it and take action from it. So as I'm talking about this, I'm wondering if you guys are noticing any fixed mindset beliefs that keep coming in around your singing and your singing career and your singing journey. You guys noticing any fixed mindset beliefs? Some of the ones I gave you at the beginning, maybe you relate to. High notes are hard. I don't have the money to ever invest in myself. Who would ever pay me to sing? I don't know. Start to acknowledge some of these limiting beliefs that fixed mindset has tethered you to, and type them into the chat. Okay, Laura, if I don't get perfect instruction, I'll never have the sound that I want. So basically, that's just another version of perfectionism. If I'm not perfect, I won't succeed, whether it's instruction or not, right? It's that aiming for perfection no matter what. Yes. Age. I'm too old. Sure, totally. That is definitely one of those fixed mindset things. Come on, guys, start to notice your thoughts. What are the things that you tell yourself that keep you small? The note will be off key. So you just decided, you just know, I'm going to be off key. Okay, my voice is too light. It's not full enough. Age and money. Yep, it's too late. Yep. Biggest foreign language, reading complicated, music is complicated. Yep, totally. Okay, so because Coach Judy is here, I want to give you an experience of what it is like to coach with a mindset coach and shift some of these limiting beliefs, some of these things that are fixed mindset. So I see a lot of you have put in the chat about age. I see Cindy Tinker, age and money. Cindy, are you willing to be a volunteer, a guinea pig, and coach on this fixed mindset with Coach Judy? If you are, go ahead and unmute. And come on camera.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, all right. I am going to hand you over to Judy. You are in the best possible hands. Take it away, Judy.
Hello, Cindy. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, so tell me a little bit about what it is that you want to coach on today.
Okay, well, my story, long story short, I've been singing since I was 2 and I'm 60. I traveled for about 13 years singing with my family, and then I got married and had a child. My son's 26, divorced, remarried, and I have 2 more daughters from that marriage that I inherited. He died 2 years ago almost, and so I'm by myself now, and it's my time. But my mind is saying you're too old. And I've lost some of my high notes. I was a voice major in college, so I know how to sing. It's just getting past the mindset of, can I do this at this age?
Sure.
So,
okay, thanks for sharing that. It's normal for people your age to begin to tell themselves the story that they're too old for a variety of things. And I'm just wondering for you, when you have that going through your head, how does that affect you?
It's overwhelming a little bit. It just makes me, kind of kick myself because I could have done it. I could have taken a different road, but then things would not have happened for me that blessed me, like my child and the 2 daughters that I have now. So I know I made the right choices. And like Arden was talking about, we have a purpose and we have a path, and we may get off at the exit and come back on and get to where we need to be. So that's where I'm going now. That's where I'm trying to go now. So
very good. So I just now heard you already beginning to shift yourself into more of a growth mindset. You want to say goodbye to that past, to this story of I'm too old, and you're going to re-enter back into, I can get back on this path and I can make it happen.
Right.
And so what I'm hearing, though, is that maybe it's your monkey mind that keeps taking you back into the past, and it's messing up your future.
Absolutely.
Yes. And so what is it that you think you would need to address for yourself in order to let go of that story? What would you need to believe?
That's where I get stuck. I don't really know. I know I have the tools. I just got to find the way to do it and the way to get out there and do it. I live in Alabama, so it's not like living in New York City or living in LA where you have all these opportunities. So I just don't know what to do.
Okay. So really you're in a place where that you feel stuck because you aren't really certain of your next steps. You want to do it, but
Right.
yet I'm guessing there may be a little bit of a fear
Oh,
about
yes.
you can
Absolutely.
the fear of what it's going to look like to try and make
Mhm.
it happen, the fear that it won't happen.
Yeah.
And I wonder when I say those things, which resonates with you the most?
What it looks like.
What it looks
I think
like?
it's just a fear of the unknown. Yeah.
Fear of the unknown. Okay, so where in your life have you gone down the path of the unknown successfully?
Um, Gosh, that's a good question. I guess all those years that I did sing, we had a ministry. It was a family ministry, and we traveled
Mm-hmm.
extensively throughout the country. Um, and I was happiest. I never made a dime doing it, but I was happiest when I was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And we never knew how much we were going to make. We had some dates that were guaranteed, but then most of them were not. But we were always taken care of financially. We never did go, into heavy debt or anything like that. Things always worked out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I guess, faith. It's just
Mm-hmm.
having faith.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, faith and trust.
Yeah.
And so, because you have had faith and trust in the back in a very similar situation,
Mhm.
um, I wonder if you had faith and trust going forward, how would that affect how you engage?
It would make me have peace, I think, and just knowing that I can do this, knowing that I just need to walk through the door that's open. Any door that opens, I just have to walk through it. Even though
Mhm.
I don't know what's on the other side of the threshold, I just need to walk through it.
Right. And so, recognizing that really you've done it in the past, you could do it. All you really have to do is have the trust and faith to walk through the door. What would
Right.
hold you back from walking through the door now?
What would keep me from doing it?
Mhm.
Um, I really don't think there would be anything that would stop me other than the unknown. But that's the thing I'm trying to get out of my head, my monkey mind, is
Yeah.
to
And so,
not
really
make
start
any.
looking for what is the known? What is the known path? What are some known paths? How can you discover those?
Well, I guess knowing that I have done this before and just
Hmm.
making, letting people know that I'm going to do this again. I'm going to be by myself this time because my
Uh-huh.
parents are 80 and 82. So
Uh-huh.
they're not going to do it, but it's just going to be me. But I know that I would have the support. So it's just stepping out on faith and just putting myself out there
Uh-huh.
and just let the chips fall where they may and don't worry about it.
And so, what's the worst thing that can happen if you do that?
They'll say no.
And what will
I just
happen to
have
you when they say no?
I just have to point somewhere other direction. I mean, I know there are going to be people that will say yes. I know there will be.
Hmm.
It's just, yeah,
Yeah. And so,
that's
as you've talked through this, is it really about your age?
no, it's about me and my brain is what it's
Mhm.
about.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I
Yeah.
feel pretty good for being 60. I feel like I'm in pretty good health. I'm in really good health and I'm blessed in that aspect. But
Mhm.
I've just got to quit being scared.
Mhm. And so that's really easy to say. I've just got to quit being scared. And it's really hard to do.
It's hard to do.
And so, what do you need to do whenever that I'm scared moment comes in? And like Arden said, you feel the resistance and it makes us go, oh no, danger, danger, I have to run and hide. What are you going to do to combat that?
Ignore it and just keep going forward.
Okay.
I just have to.
Hmm.
But like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be better than where I'm at.
Yeah.
I really feel like it'll be better than where I am at right now. So,
Right. So you don't want to stay in the fixed space. You want
right,
to go into the growth space. And the growth
right,
space says, I can have trust, I can have faith, I can believe, I can chart my course. And when I get scared, I can say, wait a minute. And so for that, I just want to give you a little tip.
okay,
Something that really seems to work with people is to do a pattern interrupt because that old monkey mind and that old programming wants to come in over and over again. And until we shush it and send it on its way, it's going to keep showing up.
okay,
So pattern interrupts can be done in lots of different ways, but usually something physical is helpful because it helps our body reset. For some
okay,
people, pattern interrupt could be like just some big deep breaths. Some people like to put the rubber band on their wrist and click it. Personally, I like to stomp my foot and go, no.
Okay. That sounds like me.
No, I'm not listening to that anymore. And then I choose the new pathway.
Okay.
And so as I'm giving you some ideas, what's sticking out for you? What do you want to claim for yourself that would be natural?
That would be natural.
Natural, most like this is what Cindy would do.
I would just say, you have no power. Leave me alone. So yeah,
Okay.
I do that.
Once you say that, then what will you do?
I'm sorry, what?
And then once you say that, what will you do?
Just keep moving forward, see what my next step needs to be, and get on the phone and call people.
Woo, look at that. You took a big leap there. I'm going to get on the phone and call people. I love
Well,
it.
I mean, like I said, I've done it in the past.
Mhm.
We've done it in the past, so it's just been 26 years since I've done it.
Right. But things haven't changed that much, you know?
No, they
And
haven't.
and these gigs are just not going to fall out of the sky. They
Nope.
didn't before. They still don't, unfortunately. And
That's
so how do
right.
you get them? You make a phone call.
That's right. Gotta make
Make a phone
calls.
call and phone call. Mhm.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so tell me, how did we do today in helping you put aside a fixed mindset that I'm too old and get you feeling more motivated about this is totally possible for me?
I guess just talking through it and listening, getting somebody to hear me talk. And I talk to myself a lot. I talk myself up. I try to, get myself hyped up about things. And you can do this, you can do this, and just having somebody listen to me and tell me, hey, yeah, you need to be doing it that way, or that's good, then I know I'm on the right track. So I guess that's really it, how it's been for me today. I really have appreciated. And these things right here that you told me, these pattern interrupts are going to be great too. I like that.
Excellent. So glad to hear
Thank
that.
you so much for being so open and vulnerable and sharing, Cindy. And
You're
I
welcome.
love when you were like, my pattern interrupts is like, no, I'm not listening to you anymore. And I'll share with you something physical that you can put with that. I know for
Okay.
me, a physical thing helps. Sometimes I'll be like brushing it off and I'll be
Okay.
no,
Okay.
like get up. You know,
Yep. Get off my back.
like and I literally like, and there's something about that that feels like, okay, I've like moved it out,
Yeah.
like, so if there's something you can borrow mine, or you can, find something of yours that
Okay.
helps you to embody
Yeah.
that moment of
Yeah.
pattern interrupt,
I
awesome.
love it.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
Okay,
you.
let's see. We've got time. We can do, one or two more. I'm going back in the chat and seeing or if somebody really wants to coach on one of their fixed mindset things, you can raise your hand in the chat, or in the use the raise hand function as well. Yeah, Camilla, I see you. Go ahead and unmute. Hi.
Hi.
All right, I'm gonna
Welcome,
let you have her. Go for it.
Monkey mind's already going. Oh, I got chosen.
Well,
Why did you
let me in on it.
hand
Let
up?
me hear what's going on in the monkey mind. What?
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, age plays into it as far as I'm concerned, because it feels like, well, if you haven't made it yet, like if you're not doing what you wanted to be doing yet, then why would that change? Are you just throwing things at the rational, what feels rational, which is probably just monkey mind, just is kind of like when do you know to give up, like stop flogging a dead cat,
Yeah.
I think that's my one of my massive ones.
Okay. So it sounds like for you, you're trying to find the timeline of when am I too old?
Yeah.
Or
That's
can I mirror back?
Or like, should I
yeah,
listen
please do, Arden.
I just want to mirror back something that I heard. Tell me if this didn't feel aligned for you, Camille, but what I heard was, I'm going to put a lot of time, I'm going to put a lot of money, and I'm still going to it's still going to be fruitless. Like you said, I'm going to throw everything at this and it's still not going to happen. So I hear some sort of fear around, like, if I give it my all, I'm scared to give it my all. Tell me that, like, because it's like fruitless to keep throwing money at this if I'm too old or if my time has passed. Is that like?
Yeah. I think from really early on, I never came from like a background where I knew how to get into classical music or anything. And so I was kind of like feeling my way. And that takes you through your 20s. And there was some, like, oh, okay, that worked really well. And oh, that got me here. And okay, you can be proud of that. But in the back of my mind, there was this like, well, music, you're so lucky if you can make money from music. So why are you not happy? You're making like a living from music. So what are you expecting? And I do, there's definitely something still craving another level of work and colleagues. And but there's also a massive part of me that's like, maybe you'll never be happy. Like maybe you are just an unhappy person.
So like fear of failure, but also fear of success. Of
maybe. Maybe, or not. Yeah. Like not knowing what my limit is. Maybe like I'm scared definitely that of like, being not up to a level that I think I want to sing at, and actually not being good enough. There's definitely a fear of, not being good enough. Ooh.
All right, Judy, I'm gonna let you go on this one.
Okay. Yeah, so that gave me a whole lot more clarity. And so I appreciate that. And there's several things. The first one I want to address is maybe I'll never be happy. And so that's a little bit what Arden was talking about earlier, from the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. The mind is going to, what if? What if it doesn't happen? And that's very fixed. It's very contracted. So I would offer you first in this one to just say, what if it did? So if you thought, what if it did, how would you engage in it differently?
I honestly, I don't know. It's been so long that I've been stuck in the
So your mind doesn't even want to go there. You've got a very tightly held belief for it's not going to happen. It's not going to be good enough. And so it's hard for your mind to even move forward to the what if it did? What if it could? Where's some evidence that that's possible? Because that's the opposite of the fixed mindset. Those kinds of talking to ourselves, those kinds of questions, those are the things that open up the opportunities. Because the thing of it is, if we have an opportunity, then there's some more excitement to move toward it. But if we've already closed the door on it and said, it's probably not ever going to happen, well, guess what we're going to do? We're going to create our path that way. It's like she's saying, your energy takes you whichever way you want it to go. And so maybe the first thing for you is, what would it take for you to retire this belief that it's probably not ever going to happen anyway?
I don't know.
Think about it in a minute.
I guess trying to hold on to the successes a bit more, like put more weight on the proof I could give myself if I was talking to a student of mine or a friend.
Oh, this is a good way to, yes. If you were talking to a student or a friend, what would you advise them?
To look at what I've already achieved, what the feedback I've had, the successes I've had. Oh God, I don't even like saying that.
Okay, that means now she has to. Just give us like 3 or 4, and we're giving you full permission to like go full on brag book right now. Like full on brag book. This is the place where you get to celebrate the things that you are very proud of, the performances, the wins, the whatever it is. Like just a few.
Yeah. Being one out of 1,500, being one of 5 that was chosen out of 1,500 to be in an absolutely international major competition in Nuremberg, like finalist in that. Jumping in and learning lead role of a Handel opera, which is like over an hour and a half of music in 40 hours. And doing it with, amazing professionals that I never thought I would get to work with. First audition my agent got me, I got the job 10 minutes after the audition. That's, things I'm super proud of and were really nice.
Okay, so super proud of, and we're really nice. And they're really something to be proud of, and it's okay to be proud of them. And I have a feeling you could probably keep writing a much longer list.
Yeah.
If you would allow yourself to see all the things.
They all feel like anomalies.
Oh, they're all anomalies. Oh, yeah. So my fixed mindset says those are all anomalies. Those are not going to happen again.
Even saying that, I'm hating.
That one happened after that one.
And even saying that, I'm like, don't be so stupid. But
that's just what it wants to come up with, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it makes me wonder, where in your life did this story get built? At what point was it declared to you, probably by someone else, that no matter what you do, it's not enough?
Whoa.
Okay.
I didn't realize that was affecting me so much. The thought that's just come to my head, I honestly thought I'd made peace with it. My dad left the scene before I was born and you would have known how to get into contact with us and just didn't. And I then tried to find him, but he'd already passed. But yeah, I thought I'd made peace with that.
Yeah.
But that definitely shot up immediately.
Mm-hmm. And it's so normal and interesting that when we do go to look for where this idea was born, it usually is somewhere in our childhood. It usually is something that happened. And a lot of times it's something we have done a lot of work on. And we don't realize the power it's still holding over us. But what the beautiful thing is right now, you just realize the power that it is holding over you. And you realize that comes from an old story that it doesn't even fit in this situation.
No.
It has nothing to do with it.
Kind of never has, never should have. I've had such an
but it's just normal. It's how our brains work. It's a protective measure of the brain. Don't beat yourself up for it. It's not a should. It's something that just normally happens because our brains want to protect us from hurt. It wants to protect us from having to feel these feelings. But the thing of it is, once we can identify them and go, wait a minute, this is still holding power over me. And I truly just want to forgive it. I want to let these emotions pass on through me, and I'm going to move past it and overcome because of it. Because the thing of it is, once you let it stop taking power from you, you step fully into your power, and then you're free. You're totally free to go and do the things that you have been doing all along, but then hold myself back, do it, hold myself back. Instead, get to take that little rubber band off and just go. How does that sound?
I love the sound of the elastic band and then just ping. Very freeing.
Yeah.
And it's funny naming it also gives it less power immediately.
It does. I find with everything like that, for all of you out there, when you have something like this that's holding power over you, if you'll name it and name it anytime that this emotion starts to come up again, rename it. Oh, wait a minute. That's what happened to me when I was a child. This happened so long ago. That is not anything that I need to bring into this reality. So I'm going to leave it behind. And it's a continuous kind of cleansing of it until eventually it really doesn't show up anymore. And, sometimes we think it's going to be a one and done, but it's just not. But now that you have the awareness, you know how to send it packing and boom, just propel yourself off with that rubber band.
And the cool thing is that, what we did yesterday, the idea of like going to 25 and allowing it to feel big and ridiculous, this is all related, because for those of you who have these old things that show up, and we all do, like what I put in the chat, it usually has nothing to do with our singing, and it's 150% affecting our journey. Why would you go beyond your comfort zone and claim 25 and do that if it's never going to be good enough anyway. You won't. And then every audition just continues to be one step forward, two steps back, two steps back. I just wanted to like speak out loud the bridge there. You know what I'm saying? But like applauding you for being so beautifully vulnerable and honest. And I think, I mean, do any of you relate to what Camille was talking about something that you know is keeping you from feeling good enough to really claim what you want, whether it's doing the recording that you want to do, investing in the intensive training program, getting on stage in an open mic, it could even be, right? So starting to look at where you are holding fixed mindset and starting to get some clarity on the things and the new beliefs and the new emotional homes, the pattern interrupts, ways in which you can start to, instead of, Judy like says, like, instead of taking that giant bag of trash from your past and bringing it with you to everything you do, right? Start to have experiences of what it gets to be like to let it go. So thank you so much, Camilla, for being brave and honest. And we will have a little more time to come back to Judy in a minute, but I have a special guest here who has a hard out in about half an hour. And I really want to make sure that we get to her because she knows so much about how old emotional chains and mindset limiting beliefs and stories and whatever really affected her journey, her singing, her path with all of this. And she's now on the other side of, I'd say most of it, I think, Amy. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but she has the experience of really opening back up her voice, claiming who she is, what she wants, and creating a life and a career from it that is not what she ever thought was possible for her. She's an incredibly talented singer and songwriter and worship leader. She's one of my very favorite people on the planet. She is an intensive grad. Some of you may also know her because she gives back to this community by being a concierge in our workshops. So some of you have had conversations with her. She went from a corporate job to singing full-time in 6 months, making a full-time living, making more money than she did at her corporate job, singing full-time. She's also a grandma. She is also, I hope I look like Amy when I'm a grandma. So if you think you're too old, or if you don't think your goals are possible, or you don't think it's possible to get past the old wounds to be able to step into what you want for your voice and your singing, just listen to her. So please welcome one of our intensive training program grads, Amy DeLuca. Amy.
Hi, everybody.
I'm
I'm
glad.
so happy to be here.
Me too. So if you could start by sharing with everyone, because I know you were listening to what Camilla was talking about, and I know you have a lot of similar, that not enough stuff that was affecting your singing, and that was affecting what you were standing in when you would go to perform, and even affecting whether you even thought you could make a living at this, given your age, the time in your life, or whatever. So would you be willing to share with everyone some of that stuff, given everything that Camilla was just talking about?
Sure. Oh yeah. So I totally can relate to the age thing. It's never going to happen for me. It's always going to be someone else. Before I met Arden, I was unemployed. I had a gig maybe every other month at best. And I was slowly slipping into not slowly, it was actually quite fast, into a depression, not knowing, just seeing my dreams, my passion to do this for a living, literally just slipping away. And I just didn't think there was a way out. My marriage was strained. We were financially really strapped. And when I came across Arden's her profile on Instagram, it was a video. I knew immediately that I needed to speak with her. So fast forward, when I did speak with her, um, the questions that she was asking me were so introspective and made me think of things that didn't even occur to me, even at that moment. and I was sobbing and crying and just like all these light bulbs and aha moments were like, oh my gosh, that's me. I'm not doing that. And I knew in that moment that this was it. Working with Arden was everything that I needed and didn't know that I needed, but knew I needed on some unconscious level. And so I want to just bring it back to the age and the money, and those concerns are valid. I was freaking out about taking the intensive. There was no way. I'm thinking, I'm on the phone with Arden. I'm unemployed. My unemployment's going to run out. My husband and I are barely making it at this time. I don't know what I'm going to do after my unemployment runs out. I don't want to go back to corporate because I can't stand corporate. It made me miserable. But that was all I had that was consistent and what I thought was solid. And in that very phone call with Arden, I made the decision. It was literally something higher than me. It was like, no, you're going to do this. I was absolutely terrified. When I say terrified, that doesn't even come close to describing the panic. I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? I have to talk to my husband. But I knew if I hung up that phone today, to this day, today, can honestly say I would be exactly where I was or worse had I not just taken that leap. And as soon as I took that leap, I'm literally texting my husband as I'm on the phone with her saying, listen, honey, I'm gonna do this, and I'm sorry. We'll talk about it later. So speaking of which, my husband just walked in here. So hi.
Have him come on camera for a second.
Okay. I'm at church, by the way. We're at a church function that we have. So this is my handsome husband.
What is up? Okay. So when you think about Amy pre-intensive versus Amy now, what do you notice are the biggest, like,
Okay, well, I'm not being paid to say this.
what if you say, wait, step closer to the device?
Okay. Well, sorry, Arden, finish your
Another
question. Oh, okay.
Before and after. Well, if I could come back for 1 second, it was difficult for that text to come through for me. It was very tough to hear, but I've wanted to say this to you for a while, and I have never been more wrong in my life. The change between my wife, between your class, I don't know what's a more extreme version of night and day, but that's what it is. She's not only turned into like the vocalist, singer, performer that I kind of knew was in there, sort of, but she turned into a businesswoman. Uh, no bravado, but such confidence that at times I think she's fearless. At times I'm like, maybe she's crazy because she's so fearless, but she's fearless. She states what she wants, and most of the time she gets it, even from me. But it's been amazing. Thank you 1,000,000,000 times, because seeing her grow the way she has inspired and influenced me.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I like things to stay the same. So for me to say that I want to grow, it's a lot.
That's
So
amazing.
I don't know who else is listening, but this course and Arden are 1,000% legit. I'm not a singer. I'm not part of the program. I sing to the dashboard. So I mean, I'm gaining nothing from this except to say thank you to you, and thank you to you, and yeah, be all yourself, guys. Do yourselves a favor and sign up, because it will be a life changing experience.
Thank you so much. Well,
100%. So thank you.
You get the benefit of watching her on stage, and I didn't mean to rope you into this, so you can go back.
I thought about Facebook messaging you and saying thank you many times.
Oh, you're
that's kind of weird. So perfect time.
Yes, well, thank you. So, I mean, that was the thing. Amy was like, my husband's gonna kill me. And like, I can you guys, and I think I said this to you on the phone, which is like, I have never met a husband or a wife or a partner who was upset when their love is happier, more successful, and living their dream at the highest version of themselves. I've never met a partner who was mad about that. And
No.
so anyway, okay, so back to what you were saying about, yeah, just like being scared. You were talking about being terrified.
Yes, I was, because the monkey mind, that inner critic who I've named Deborah, by the way, um, she was saying to me, "Oh my God, are you crazy? How are you going to do this? Your husband's going to kill you. You're going to be bankrupt. You're going to all this stuff over and over and over and over, like just bombarding me." And I was like, "I'm doing this anyway. I'm just doing it. I'm on my phone. I'm going into PayPal, getting a loan. I went to another app that Arden told me about, got approved for another loan, and I was able to pay the 7,000 right up front. And in that moment, it was like immediate shift of energy. It was like the floodgates open, and all this trapped, stuck energy and this agony and torture and just crap for, and so many much more that I was going through over and over and over again was gone. It was like there was no limit. It was like like, oh my God, I'm doing this. Holy shit, pardon my French. And that was the beginning of what I knew was going to change my life, and it has radically. And I can't say that enough.
And so can you share, because I know that you've noticed so many big shifts and changes in your singing and also in what's happened in your career since. I
Mhm.
know you've had pretty big wins and shifts. Can you share what some of these have been?
Yeah. So, well, a lot of little wins were lots of mindset stuff that used to plague me before any gig. And this could be like one of my duo gigs at like a dive bar. And I would still put myself through the agony of like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? It was torture. It was this constant state of anxiety. Like, how am I going to get through this night? Oh my God, what if this happens? And to now, I have this ritual where no matter what performance it is, it could be small, it could be huge. I envision myself, I take a moment, I envision myself, and I envision this beautiful golden white light, who for me is God. And this light permeates every cell of my body and goes all the way down into the ground. And that for me it cleanses me, but it also empowers me. And I state my global beliefs that my body is made to do this, that God gave me this gift for big, huge things. There are many that I use, and that has created such a shift in all of my performances where the monkey mind isn't constantly at me. Oh no, oh God, here's that high note. Oh shit, oh no, are you going to be able to do it? I'm like, I already got this. I got this. My body's made for this. I trust my body. I've done it before. I have the data. Here's the evidence. I've got this. And I do it. Those are the smaller wins. There's so many wins. And then the bigger wins is I was able to perform. Well, I'm singing for a living. I mean, that's like unbelievable. Last year when I made the decision to start to become my own CEO of my singing, I was able to book like 75 to 80 gigs in a matter for this whole year. And that's just solo gigs. That's not duo, that's not band stuff. By myself in 2 months, less than 2 months, I was able to book all those gigs myself. And then the bigger win was when I was able to perform at an international huge worship conference in Minnesota. And the stage was like, I don't know if, some of my worship leaders or gospel singers out there, who Hillsong is or Bethel Music, like the really big names in Christian contemporary.
Amy.
I sang, yeah.
On stage, right there with everybody.
I did. Yeah. I was on stage.
But I get such a kick out of the fact that you performed, that you were right up there with, because that was one of the main goals of when we talked about what do you want to be celebrating a year from now. And that was one of the things. Like, we didn't know what it would look like, but it was like, you know, being a part of the Christian music community and not in a small way.
Right.
It was both in a big way.
It was huge. I met pastors. Oh no, that's okay, honey. Chris is showing you pictures. He took screenshots of, they had a live feed. Thank you though. A live, they had it live broadcast like around the world. So Chris was, you know, viewing it, and he would take like screenshots of it. And it just was like, oh my gosh, look at me. I'm on that huge stage. Oh my God. And I made it on the cover of the Faith and something or other, something, I forget the name of the magazine from that very show. I was like, oh my God, I'm on the cover. And I was also on the inside too. So, and I never knew that could have even be possible to happen. So, oh, just so wonderful.
The two things though, now you have global beliefs that support you not holding yourself back or playing small, but going after the things that you want. And you know how to now make an impact with your voice and your energy on stage, so that when you get that opportunity, it doesn't end there. You end up on the cover of the magazine.
Right. Yes. And they want us back.
Of course they do.
They want us back for the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you were, you know, talking to, because, you know, you've been here for this session today and you've been supporting so many of these singers and just getting to know them, and as you do as concierge, giving back to our community and the workshops and stuff. And so, you know, we were talking about fixed mindset versus growth mindset, and everybody was putting a lot of their fixed beliefs and their fears, because really, you guys, like, fixed mindset, it's just trying to protect ourselves from the fear, right? And so, you know, having kind of seen all of this that we were talking today, and you were talking to somebody who really wants more of what we do here and is thinking that they do want to have a transformation story like yours, like Stacy's yesterday, like Vanessa's, right? But maybe they're worried, will it work for them? Worried about maybe working online, maybe worried about the investment, the time. What advice, having been through it yourself, would you give them?
Oh, let's see. There's so many things, but for me, I have so many thoughts going in my head. I'm trying to narrow it down.
Spitball it. Everybody here loves you anyway.
There's always an excuse not to do something. Always. And I get the monkey mind wants to play, you know, keep us safe. We don't want to have rejection, et cetera, et cetera. What I can say is, had I not, if I listen to my mind who says, oh, you're too old. Look at your freaking Gigi. You're a grandmother. Are you kidding me? I'm 51. I'm 51, and I feel proud to be that, and being able to make a highly successful living doing what I was called to do. And for me, when God, Spirit, Universe places a dream in my heart, it's my responsibility to take that dream as far as I can possibly take it. I don't want to look back, you know, over my life with regret, thinking, oh God, what if I had just done that? What if I had just taken that leap? You know, I get that when I continue to do the familiar, I kind of know the outcome, because, you know, we're humans, we like to know what the outcome is going to be or have some idea. But when taking that leap, when doing something that's outside of what I've ever done, I have no idea what that's going to look like. But the thing is, instead of being terrified, I'm like, I'm going to look on with excitement, with curiosity, like, wow, what can I do? What's going to happen around the corner if I'm pursuing this, my dream, my gifts, using my gifts? That's so exciting. Sure, there's a little bit of fear, but so what? I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway. I'd rather feel the fear going towards my goals than feeling the fear of, oh my God, am I ever going to get there? Am I always going to stay stuck? Is there ever a solution? You know, So there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And for those who are spiritual, who believe in the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, God always provides. God has provided for me. I have paid my investment with Arden like 100-fold by now.
It's come back
So
to you 100-fold. I mean, the 7K, you make more than that in a month doing what you do at this point.
pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah. Yes. So there's always a reason to not do something, but look at the reasons to do these gifts, this calling. They're not meant to, you're not meant to play small and be unheard and stay in, behind the wheel of your car singing, or in the shower, or wherever. You're meant for big things. You have this big gift meant for big things. Do it.
Mhm. Thank you so much, Amy. You're so inspiring. And I
Oh,
feel so lucky to have gotten to be your guide in this.
I'm so
Because
grateful.
because just like Amy, I think a lot of you, it's like when we first met, like she had a gift. She knew she had something that she had a big dream on her heart. She had an amazing talent, an amazing voice, but there were things that were holding her back in her consistency of her sound, like just from a technical perspective, which we didn't really talk about, but just there was a lot of tension and a lot of strain. Things
Yes.
were preventing her from actually putting herself out there. So there was mindset stuff, there was technique stuff. And, as I said before, mindset without the skill set, not going to get you where you want to go. Skill set without the mindset, not going to get you where you want to go. Right. And so for everybody here, whether you work with us and me, or whether you go find another solution that's going to work for you, the thing that Amy's talking about, which is also what I'm just like, I can't hit home enough, which is that if you continue to do what you've been doing and think what you've been thinking, you will continue to get what you've always gotten. Nothing will change. And I say that not to be mean, but just that's 25 years of changing singers' voices and changing, saving singers' careers talking. And it's true in my own life too. And I know that most people really want certainty, like what Amy was talking about. And we don't get to know what's going to happen. But, can I guarantee that you will come in, and for those of you who want to do the program, like that it will work for you? No, I can't guarantee that because I don't know you. Only you know you, right? I know the program works. I see it every day with singers like those who you've met this week and all the hundreds of singers who've come through before. I know it works, but I don't know you. But when you show up, give 100%, play full out, you're committed, you're coachable, resourceful, then it'll work for you too. But we want that guarantee. And unfortunately, there is no guarantee. The only guarantee that I can give you is that if you do nothing, you will stay where you are. That's it, And so what's really cool though, is that I want to celebrate each and every one of you who have shown up every day of this workshop, because you're making your singing a priority and you're taking the first step to learn something different. You have ideas in your head now that never would have been there had you not shown up for these last 6 days, right? It's so easy to let life and other things and excuses get in the way, right? And thank you, Amy, so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you have to go perform. So thank you, you guys, everybody. Thank you so much to Amy for her time,
Welcome.
sharing her wisdom and her story.
You're
Yeah.
so welcome. I love you. I love all of you. God bless.
But it's really easy to let everything go in the way. So for all of you who are here, can you celebrate yourself for taking that first step, for saying, I don't want to keep getting what I've always gotten. I know there's more in me and I need some help to get it out. And so for those of you who want our help to do that, well, as you know, we have a scholarship opportunity. And so if you've been with us every day of the workshop, if you have not missed a single day, then you're eligible to enter our big scholarship contest to win $5,000 scholarship for the intensive training program. So it brings the tuition down from, well, our usual tuition is $9K. I'm already taking $2,000 off to you guys in the workshop. So it brings 7K for everybody in the workshop minus the 5K scholarship. So it brings the tuition down to just 2K, which is huge. So if you want to be considered for the scholarship, you have to do 2 simple things by tonight. Okay. So by like 11 o'clock tonight. Okay. Well, it depends on what time zone you're in. So let me give you the rules and then we'll specify that. So scholarship submission instructions are as follows. So my assistant, Ashley, is going to put a link in the chat to use if you want to submit for the scholarship. Again, do not submit unless you've been here every day. That's the first qualification, is you have to have been in the workshop live here with us every day. So the link that Ashley just put in the chat, when you click on that link, you're going to be asked to do a few things. Number one, you need to record a short selfie video. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just on your phone, whatever. Speaking to the following: what the intensive means to you, what doing the intensive and having this training means to you, and why you should be the one to receive the opportunity of this scholarship. So that's in the selfie video, what doing the intensive means to you and why you should be the one to receive it. That's the selfie video. And then also we're asking you to include at least one link to yourself performing or to your online recordings. So links where we can hear you. Could be linked to a YouTube video of yourself performing, could be a link to where your recordings are, like on your website or on iTunes, or if you want to upload something to a Google Drive and send us the link where we can watch, a recording of you, or it could be audio or it could be video. So at least one link to yourself performing or to your online recordings where we can hear you. So to be considered, you must submit by 9 p.m. Pacific tonight, 12 p.m. Eastern tonight. And then be here tomorrow, because I'm going to announce the winner live in our session tomorrow. And tomorrow is our Q&A session. So again, you'll only be considered if you've been to every session, and we can see who's been here, guys, because we can see. And so if you've been here for every session and you filled out the form and email and included the selfie video and the performance link. Okay. So question I have for you then is, when is now the time to change? When is now the time to move the needle on your singing career? Because like we're saying, life is in session and it's always going to be in session. So when is now the time to go all in, to bring forth everything you are capable of, so people see you, connect with you, are impacted by you in ways that you've never been able to achieve before in your singing or in your career? And there's 2 different roads that you can take. One road is just a more isolated path, certainly more challenging, more time consuming in the long run. And it's try to solve all of the issues on your own. And I'm not the kind of person, guys, who's going to sit here and tell you that it's impossible to solve the issues on your own. I'd be a complete hypocrite, because that's basically what I did. I spent 10 years in all kinds of modalities, literally like throwing spaghetti on the wall, getting a lot of bad information, paying for a lot of training that didn't address the real problems, experimenting with loads of things, so many of which did not work or did not help and led me to a dead end. And I did this for years, guys, finding out all the things that didn't work, walking into every wall and every pothole. And I spent a ton of time and invested a ton of money. I mean, easily over $50,000 in mistakes, in training and endeavors that did not get me where I wanted to go. So you can definitely do this on your own, because I did, but it's really costly, and not just money, but it's the time that it takes to figure all this out when you're not the expert. But fixing with the issues that you have with your voice and your impact and how it's affecting your career, it's just sort of, if you think about it, like you're going on a cross-country trip, and you're going on this trip with a map that tells you how to get from A to B, that literally tells you how to avoid the wrong turns, tells you exactly how to get to your final destination. So your odds of reaching it are significantly more likely if you actually have a map or a guide that shows you how to get there. And even better if you like have a GPS that's like the one in my car that literally is like wrong turn, wrong turn, right? That tells you if you get off track. And that will ding and say like re-navigating, that like brings you back to the correct path, right? So you can either do it without a map and try to figure it out as you go and try to wing it on your own, or you can get a GPS that will keep you on the right path, that will hold your hand, that will mirror back to you all the ways you would otherwise get in your own way. You can work with a team who geeks out on this stuff, like me and Annie and Judy. Like we have literally collectively over 100 years of expertise. Even if it doesn't seem like your blocks or patterns are like possible to be shifted. I know some of you maybe feel like you're in such a deep hole. Even if it seems like your blocks and patterns feel murky or insurmountable, or even if you've worked with some of the best singing coaches in the world, you've been to Juilliard, you've been to Berklee School of Music, and you're thinking, I've been with the best, and still I'm not there yet. And so you feel doubt and you feel overwhelmed. And I get it. I do. And I've done this hundreds of times with hundreds of singers, guys. You heard Vanessa, you heard Marie, you heard Stacy and Amy. This is what my team and I love to do. And it is what we are the best in the world at, which is helping singers get out of their own way, link mind and body, create the most rock solid foundation for their biggest impact so you can go out there and kill it in your career. And when I say we are the best in the world at this, guys, I don't play the false humility game. We are the best in the world at this. We eat, sleep, and drink this, okay? And so helping you to get out of your own way, it is the most important thing you can learn. Linking mind and body, because everything else comes out of your ability to do that. There is no point in continuing to spend any more time or energy or money on things like studio time, amazing producers, amazing marketing strategies, if what you're recording, what you're marketing, your performance, is not making an impact on your listeners the way it needs to. So freeing 100% of your potential and learning how to sing in a way that is the most true to you makes a visceral impact on your audience and is so healthfully produced that you can sing 7 shows a week without issue. Those are the most valuable things that you can learn, because everything else that you will do in your singing career hinges on your ability to do that. And if you want our support and you want to work with us in the intensive training program to achieve that, then your next step is to schedule a discovery call with me, and we'll see if this is the right fit for you. We'll talk it out. If you have any lingering questions, if you want to talk about start date, if you want to talk about financing, if you know that this program feels aligned for you after working with us for this last week and hearing from our singers, getting to know me, getting to know my team, and you're just a little unsure about a couple things, that's what this discovery call is for, okay? And we'll reason it out together and see if this is the right fit for you. And you guys, I don't want anyone in here who doesn't want to be here, because the community is such a huge part of this, that we don't want anyone in here who's going to bring everybody else down. So if you're unsure, let's talk it out. And if I think this is the wrong place for you, I'll tell you. And like, no harm, no foul. I will still love on you no matter what. But this program, this is our flagship 4-month training program that I've developed to train you guys 360 holistically: technique, artistry, mindset. And we do that with technique accelerator trainings for full command of your technique so that you have it in a most consistent, reliable, and healthy way. We do mind-body integration modules to dive deep into your unique patterns of thinking and shift how this is affecting your body, your journey, your choices when you sing, exactly like what Judy did. Like, this is basically what Mindset Call is, like where you have like individual coaching in the context of a group when it comes to your mindset, and then one-on-one accountability mentoring to help you break the boundaries that have previously stopped you. So you and your mindset coach, if it's Judy, you're getting on one-on-one and you're parsing these things out that maybe you don't want to talk about in the context of the group. You have individual weekly technique coaching to make sure that you are embodying all of your new skill set, mindset, and artistry in the moment of singing. So you're in with me 3 times a week, individual coaching in the context of a group, just like we've done in here. It's our community, it's our safe space to go beyond the comfort zone and give you that compassionate, supportive community to do that, and be amongst like-minded artists to incubate and to marinate and to learn and to take action and to grow together as you achieve your goals. And so this program is for you if you are still not where you want to be, despite your best efforts, despite all the training that you've had, despite the fact that you are out there hustling, performing, recording, and you're not getting where you want to go, or you know you should be hustling, auditioning, recording, performing, and you're still on the bench because of all of the fear and the limiting beliefs and the lack of trust in your instrument and your body and what you can create, okay? So if you're dying to sing in a way that is more reliable, more consistent, more powerful, where your body is working for you instead of against you, and you dream of getting much better results from your auditions and recordings and performances, you know, no more always the bridesmaid, never the bride, right? and you want to sing without tension, without strain, without vocal fatigue, in a way that feels good, not just sounds good, so that you can tap into your sound, be that authentic performer, be that one who unleashes her unique gifts, his unique sound that sets you apart from every other singer out there. So that anytime you know that when you open your mouth, you can trust your technique and you can trust your body to make the most impactful sound, no matter what, then this is the place for you, because this is what we do all day, every day. And so, like I mentioned before, it's usually a $9K tuition, but I'm giving everybody here in this workshop special $2,000 discount that disappears on Sunday. So even if you don't want to start the program right away, get on a call with me and we'll talk about timing, because if you have not done your enrollment by Sunday, or you haven't at least booked a call with me by then, no discount. Okay. So if you're seriously considering the program, but you have questions, I set aside time for you to book that short discovery call with me to make sure the program is a good fit for you. The link is in the chat. So we have one final session tomorrow. It is our Ask Me Anything Q&A tomorrow. This is the opportunity that you have to get clarity on anything we trained on this week, whether it's technique or something you noticed when you were practicing, or a mindset thing. It's your time and I am at your disposal. I am happy to stick around for one more. I see Laura still has her hand up. I don't know if Judy's able to stay. Is Judy still in, or did she have to take off? She's here.
I'm
Judy,
still here.
are you cool to do one more?
I can do one more.
Okay. So you guys, there's no homework tonight. Okay. So get on my calendar if you have questions. The scholarship submission instructions are in the chat. Remember, you must get it in by 9 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. 9 p.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern tonight. Just follow the instructions. And if you guys have to go, I totally get it. But if you want to stick around, Judy's going to do one more laser coaching. All right, Laura, you're up.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, good to see you too.
Yeah. All right. So what was your fixed mindset? What was your limiting belief? And I'm gonna let Judy take it from here.
Well, I have one that goes back to childhood. So this is kind of one I'm still trying to uproot, and I know it probably has something to do with other things that happen in childhood, but I know that physically where I'm at in location is not going to be possible to fulfill this at this point in time. But I grew up in New Jersey, acting, singing, dancing, and I really wanted to be on Broadway. And but the mindset was like I wanted to be a lead, like it wasn't just like to be on Broadway in a chorus or something like that. Like I need to be a lead. Long story short, God led me lots of different directions that didn't land me on Broadway or even living in New York City. And so, but it's still kind of lingering there to the point that in other community theater or other types of things that I've declined certain roles or positions or whatever if it hasn't been like the lead, And then when I have had a lead role, all the other types of mindset things that have limited my maybe a high note or something like that have kind of like come in. So there's like already this underlying pressure.
Can
Okay.
I have something back, which I hear so much, and I just want to tell you, you're like not alone in this, okay? And tell me if this feels like aligned or not, but I hear I'm way too good for this other shit, chorus, little roles, right? Like I know I belong in the lead role, but when I get the lead role, I'm actually scared of it. Can I actually do it? Am I going to do it the way I want to do it? So you've got like the imposter syndrome on one side, and you've got the like, no, I'm way too good on the other side. Is like one foot in two canoes. Am I reading that right?
Well, the one side isn't necessarily that I'm way too good. Like, I don't necessarily think of it that way. It's more just like, that's not as worth my time in a sense. So
Why?
it's like,
Why is it not worth your time if you're not?
because I want the challenge. I want the challenge, like it doesn't seem challenging enough.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted to get clarity on that. Okay.
Yeah.
So you take it away.
Okay. So then what I'm hearing is you're missing out on role opportunities because you've created a story that you've kind of gotten in a rut with, and you're tired of being in that rut and would really like to get out of it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And so that rut that you have made, how is that benefiting you?
Well, it's only benefiting reinforcing the story.
Okay.
And also it but it doesn't like benefit me in a positive way necessarily. It's
Mhm.
really just reinforcing a story and then frustration if, I'm not having
Yeah.
my desires met.
Right. So it really is something that's holding you in this fixed mindset that if I don't get it the way I want it, I don't really want it.
Yeah.
And yet, when you have the opportunities for something that isn't what you want, what is your story that makes you really lean into the idea that you don't want it?
I believe that I have qualities um, that would be better showcased in a different part. And I won't get a chance to really, so I know this is a lie, but I won't get a chance to really shine in this other part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and this is a deeper one, which I know has to do with childhood stuff, right? Is I'm not going to be as valuable, like in anybody could do the other parts, kind of a thing. Like I'm not really valuable.
Unless you're at a certain level.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
So,
it's really humbling to admit all this stuff out because it's just
but
like,
yes, I really appreciate your vulnerability and to admit it all. Um, and is that something that you've had awareness of for some time period, or is this a new awareness for you?
yeah, no, I've had the awareness for some time in college. An opportunity came up in a show. It was down to me and another person for the lead, and um, and but I didn't write on my audition form that I'd be willing to take any other part, and that pissed off the director, and so he purposefully chose the other person because I didn't put that on there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's been with you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, when you think about that happening, what story did that create for you?
Well, definitely one of pressure. So if I do get what I want, then there's like, pressure to shine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it also created a story of like kind of division between me and some of the other people that would be in a show, like um I've grown a lot since then. So, but I also haven't been singing in the last few years. So,
Right.
in the growth period I've had in the last few years, like I see the kind of better than, less than kind of like, um, distance it creates between me and other people that would be in a cast or things
Mm-hmm.
like that. Depending on where I'm feeling on the day too, some days I
Right.
might be like, I'm doing great, and then other days I feel really small and like I
Mm-hmm.
can't do this.
Oh, yeah. And so it seems like there's that continuous pattern of, as you said, pressure and division versus trying to be accepted and opened up about it. And you just kind of, you're on this teeter totter and you just can't get off the teeter totter. It's your mind is keeping you, oh, it's going to hurt you more this way. Nope, it's going to be this way. And so it's up and down and up and down. And really, neither one are serving you. And so if you were going to get off the teeter totter and run free to what it is you really want, what would you create as that vision for yourself?
Well, what I'm attempting to do right now is just baby steps in the direction of at least confidence with my instrument and my body, Um, and so, yeah.
I
So,
interrupt here really
yeah.
quickly? I have a question for you, Laura. Let's say you came to work with us and all that confidence that you want, you have it. So let's say 4 months from now, you have that consistency, you have that fearlessness, you have however it is that you want to feel with your instrument. Let's say that we've worked together and you have it. How would you answer Judy's question? Once you have that, what do you want? What's your vision?
Well, right now my only opportunity is to sing in church, so I want that. I want to be able to, and I'm just starting that tomorrow. So I just want to be able to actually practice and have that confidence consistency there, in terms of like small immediate, and then in the future to be able to, I guess I would need some realism.
Okay. Here's where I'm gonna go. I'm
Okay.
gonna say I love you, and you're playing small in a way that you are so used to that when I give you full permission to dream and visualize, it's really hard. And like I totally feel that I relate, and I think a lot of people here can relate because you want to be realistic, because you don't want to fail. And there's this quote, don't kill me for quoting Will Smith, you guys, but it's a great quote, which is that being realistic is the surest path to mediocrity. So if I said to you, you have full permission to dream now. We've fixed the issues. You have the consistency. You have the confidence. What would light you up, Laura?
I would love to do just some gigs around town, where I might be able to do show tunes or things like that. As for, I live in a city that doesn't really have a lot of quality musical theater, so I'd audition for some at least, but at least some gigs where I know I can use it.
So can I be cheeky for a second?
Okay.
There are these things called cars and airplanes and trains that take you to places where you don't live. So what is the belief or the fear or whatever that's stopping you from kind of seeing what else could be, even just in the visualization? Like, is there some circumstance or practical, or is it just scary? Or I don't know.
It's really practical right now. I've got a middle schooler and a high schooler and only a few years left with them home.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And so do you mind if I take her on a tangent for a second, Judy?
Go right ahead.
So I'm a mom too. My daughter is a sixth grader, middle schooler. And like, I don't know if your kids are anything like mine, but like, I could tell my daughter until I'm blue in the face, like, if you believe it, you can do it, you can achieve it, whatever you set your mind to. But like, she doesn't listen to a damn thing I say. But boy, is she watching what I do. So if I'm telling her all these things, but I'm just sitting down on my dreams, what am I modeling for her? How is you going after what you want the best thing that's going to actually help your children? Because I feel like there's a belief that if you go after what you want, it's going to harm either them or the relationship. I don't know. Judy, maybe you can have a better way of exploring this with Laura.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing is that it is that, but it goes back to the beginning, that because your mind wants to make up that if you don't get that right part, it's not good enough, but then the other parts are not good enough either. And so no matter what, you're not good in something's not good enough. And now it's not good enough, mom. And so as I say that, how does that sit with you?
I mean, I totally track with everything that you're saying. I'll tell you another thought that came up while you guys were sharing this, and that was, I don't know what quality I have. Like I don't know if I really have the quality to achieve what like let's say it was you fly to Broadway, go fly and live in New York for a show or something like that, so like I don't even know, like, that the dream that I had as a kid, but I don't really actually even know that.
Yes. And none of us have that crystal ball, do we? There isn't that magic crystal ball that we can look in and it's going to say, yes, you are going to go to Broadway and this is what it's going to look like. But guess what? We can create that vision in our mind, and our minds are so fantastic that it will help us create the path to get there. But as long as we hold it back, as long as our mind is telling us it's probably not going to happen anyway, you don't know that it'll really work, then you stay in that fixed mindset, you stay stuck. But if you go, hey, this is something like Amy said earlier, this is just something I believe I was equipped for. I believe I'm ready for. I believe God's put this in my heart for a reason, and I was going to do it. And that's the thing. It's when you step into that energy, that's growth mindset. That's when, what would it sound like for you in your situation to claim that for yourself that would be truly authentic to how you think? Just like Amy did, because that really was a huge pivot point for her. She had a lot of those same thoughts, those same not good enoughs, those same holdbacks, and the age, all the different things. But what we really saw and worked with Amy to do is to take that and go, wait a minute, that's not the story I want to keep writing. That's not the tale I want to end with. I want to be on the hillside stage. That's what I want. And, all the way doing the smaller things to get herself there was still this belief, will I ever do it? But yes, I'm going to believe I will, and I'm going to chart the course. And guess what? She did. So whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So which do you want to choose?
Well, I do know I want to choose to do what I need to do to get there, whether or not that's actually what God leads me to do.
Right. And it's those steps, one step at a time, one day at a time. As you're stepping into that belief, eventually, the next thing you know, you're like Amy, and you wake up and you go, oh my goodness, I'm here. Because you don't judge the smaller things that you're doing. You realize they're part of the evolution of you becoming it. The thing of it is, you're already it right now, but now you get to take what you are and where it looks now, and you get to evolve it to where, who knows? Who knows? Only God. And He's going to take the path to help you get there, right?
Thank you.
And so for you, Laura, and for everybody, like, this is not a process of becoming something. It's not a process of becoming successful, becoming, famous, becoming worthy, becoming a beloved performer, fill in the blank, It's not a process of becoming something. You, Laura, you already are something. You just don't believe it. You already are something. And so at least the way we work and what Judy's helping you with, and, for those of you who come work with us in the intensive program, it's a process of peeling away all those things. And so then you can actually stand in the authenticity of who you are, the beingness. Like, notice Judy didn't ask you once what you would do. She didn't ask you once. It's not about doing. It's about being. Visualizing being in this state of doing what you've always wanted to do. It's the beingness, not the doing, because everything that you guys want filters from that beingness. Your actions filter from the beingness, and the beingness is just a reflection of the thoughts that are going on in your head. And that reflects in your technique, it reflects in your performance, but more than anything, it reflects in the actions that you take based on what you've decided is possible or not possible. Fixed mindset versus growth mindset. So can it be okay that you don't really know how you're going to get there? But there's a larger vision, intention. Like, I would invite you, after we get off this call in a minute, to just sit for a second and craft what we would in the program call like a global intention, which is, we call it a sankalpa because that's sort of the spiritual term that in Eastern world, but it's a grand intention. Could also be thought of as like a heartfelt wish. So instead of me saying, I want to sing on stage at the Met and I want to do the role of Gilda by the time I'm 35 with Riccardo Muti conducting. And like, that's not an intention. Like, that's like, you know, I'm going to be disappointed one way or the other with that, because the odds of me actually creating that exact thing are like, you know, that's just like an expectation hangover waiting to happen. So versus an intention would be, I want to be able to make a living from my gifts, being able to stand on stages all over the world, sharing the fullness and power of my voice night after night after night. Like that, you see how that's like zoom out. You know what I'm saying? That's like a great intention. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to look like, what that's going to look like. But if I hold that intention of like, that's, you know, there's the intention and then there's the why. And then there's why do I want to do that? Because this is the gift I've been given. And this is my passion. And this is the legacy that I want to leave.
And this is how I show my kids how to go for their dreams. This is how I show my kids I can be a great mom and do what I love.
So it's connecting the intention with the why. And when we have those two things, now if you can get really clear on your why, and you can get really clear on this beautiful global intention, and you hold those as your North Star, every action will come out of that. And then the actions will be aligned, because you're acting out of the awareness of those intentions rather than the fixed mindset, the limiting beliefs, the old stories that continue to keep you small. And so you see an opportunity for a role. Now, in the fixed mindset, it might be one of those roles that's like you would otherwise say no to, or maybe you wouldn't drive to that audition because it's an hour away, or maybe, I don't know, right? Something that you would have just negated. But if you come back to my intention and my why, and if this opportunity helps you to get both of those, then you go and you do that. Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank
And
you.
I love that your shirt says regeneration. Because that's exactly what we're talking about, you know, regenerating your thoughts, regenerating your experience here. And so I was just looking at that and thinking, that's so cool. You're already wearing it right there on your chest.
Yeah, literally. Awesome.
One quick question. Is there anything that you're supposed to like do with the old mindset? Like just let it go, or is there something you do with it?
I mean, that is what we do in the program, literally, is that's a process. Because if it were easy to just say, yeah, this is what you do with it, and then you're good.
Mm-hmm. It's another one of those things that's easy to say and hard to do in a lot of ways.
Yeah. But the best thing though is just start where we started this week, which is start just noticing your thoughts. Noticing the things that you tell yourself while you're singing. Notice the things you're telling yourself around the opportunities that you want or are taking or not taking. And notice the moment of your body. It's just the best place to start is just noticing, because then the actions that you take are going to be from awareness instead of reaction from like fear or anxiety or stress or old conditioned beliefs that don't serve you anymore. So that's really the place to start. Is there anything else that you would add to that, Judy?
No, that's good. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Laura, for being so brave and honest and vulnerable. And thank you to each and every one of you for sticking with us. You guys are amazing. Pat yourself on the back for for stepping into this time on a Saturday to work on your voice, your singing, your career, get some new tools. We will be back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for Q&A. So if you have questions, the Facebook group has a thread. You can post them, or you can just come in tomorrow with your questions. Go enjoy the rest of your Saturday, everybody. Have an amazing day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. And thank you to Judy for giving us all of her mojo and her wisdom. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you all. It was so good to be here.
All right, everybody. See you then tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.